Coming up on County Connection. The place to be on Friday nights? We'll show you. The county is giving a helping hand to these individuals looking for a second chance. We've got some disaster preparedness tips for you if large animals are part of your family. Welcome back to County Connection. I'm Melissa Fye. Last month, the West Fire in Alpine destroyed more than 30 homes. After a disaster like this, we help fire victims get everything they need, and we make sure it's all in one central location.
I just saw my house, roaring in flames and everything in it, everything. From all my clothes, my wife's clothes, baby clothes, just in its entirety. We lost everything in a flash.
The County of San Diego has opened a local assistance center for those who have been impacted by the West End building fires. It is a centralized location where we have multiple representatives from different county departments as well as some other organizations that are answering questions and providing people who have been impacted by the recent fires with the information they need to navigate through the rebuilding and recovery process. When a disaster happens, people don't know what they need to do next. They don't even know where to start. And so this is why we put together this center so that everything they need to know is in one location. And we can guide them through the steps. We can tell them where they need to start, who they need to talk to. This is a very difficult time for a lot of people, for some the worst time of their lives. And we want to be there to help them along the way to make sure that it's as easy as possible.
They don't even know here or paying it forward, for people like us that just lost everything. So we're super grateful for anything means everything right now.
All of our resources to help residents during the rebuilding process can be found at sdcountyrecovery.com. Now, during a wildfire, it's also important to think about our four-legged family members. Did you know that this Sharpie might be just the thing you need to reunite with your livestock after a major disaster? Watch how.
If you've ever wanted to visit the Old West, this might be the place to go.
So we're predominantly a kids camp and we do horse science riding, vaulting, animal science.
It's a little quiet right now, but still a lot of livestock on hand.
We have horses, cattle, sheep, goats, alpacas, chickens, and rabbits. Hi, my name is Gretchen Conwell and we're here at Rawhide Ranch. I'm the animal director. So I oversee the animals and the animal programs since 2008.
With so many animals to watch over, prepping for disaster is always a priority.
In my position, it's all I've done is what if? What steps do we take to make sure we're prepared if this happens?
In May of 2014, it did happen, a wildfire.
I had been close to several wildfires, just living in the area in the last few years. But not actively involved in my position or personally. So the one in May was the biggest one for us here.
Evacuating is inevitable when a disaster strikes your area. So how can you prepare if you own large animals?
If you have a horse, we hope that you have a trailer so that you can safely evacuate your animals. And if you have 6 horses, make sure you have a trailer that can evacuate those 6 horses, or that you evacuate early enough so that you can evacuate 2 horses and come back and get the remaining horses.
With that in mind, Gretchen has some tips to make sure your horses can be identified wherever they end up during a disaster.
So a couple of things that you can have ready for you. Duct tape, Sharpie, layout paint. These can help you to mark and identify your horses if someone does pick them up or they get dropped off at another boarding facility. You want to mark the halter and the horse. So we're just gonna take off a nice thick piece of tape here and we're gonna attach it to the cheek piece. And then on the tape, we're just gonna write our name and our phone number. On the back of the duct tape, you can write the horse's name on it if you have time, or if they have any special needs, medications, special feed, diet, and then that way whoever reads this can contact you about what that might mean. So I'll just take them kind of over in the middle of the stall. So once your halter is marked, the next Thing that you can do is mark your horse's hoof, and then that way if the halter becomes separate, we have a way of, again, identifying. And the Sharpie lasts a little while, probably not super long, but enough time to get your horse to wherever they're going. And doing 2 different hooves will help in case one does get wiped off, and then that way your options are better, that communication is going to be given because you'll have 2, and you can see on the white hoof wall and the dark hoof wall it comes up a little different. But just experiment and figure out what works best for your horse.
And if someone you don't know is picking up your horse for you,
Get the license plate number, get a description. We don't want to think that something could, end up taking your horse somewhere else, but you need to be prepared.
it's also a good idea to have documents on your horse or other large animal.
What I like to do is to have these horse information papers set up, and you can easily get these online. And it talks about your horse, who owns them, if they're up to date on all the vaccinations, if there's any allergies, if there's any medical needs. It's also a good idea to attach a picture of them in the summer and in the winter because their coats do change depending on the climate. So then that way, if there is an emergency and your horse looks a little different, you'll have a picture that backs that up as well.
Make sure to bring extra food, medicine, and grooming tools. You never know when you'll be back.
So as much preparation as you can do beforehand, like figuring out your system, that's all going to help you. It's going to save you a step, because when the actual evacuation or emergency is happening, you don't have that extra time or that clarity in your thought process to be able to make it happen.
You can get more disaster preparedness tips for all your animals at the county's Animal Services website, sddac.com. Now, re-entry back into everyday life can be really tough after incarceration, but the County of San Diego's Community Transition Center is there to help. Watch how probation, along with its partners, are helping to change lives.
It's complicated. How do you get all the way here? And then you lose yourself, like I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, here we are. Life's halfway over, and I'm starting over.
With criminal justice realignment, the County of San Diego realized that we needed to do something different with the realigned population. We knew that we were not going to be able to incarcerate our way out of the situation, so we really wanted to focus on a balanced approach. And what a balanced approach means is having services available, at the same time providing accountability and structure. So the CTC at its heart is our mitigating program to allow for us to do some pre-release planning for folks who are being released from state prison. We are an assessment center. So what we do is we pick people up from state prison, we transport them home. We can make sure they get the things that they need to address our criminogenic needs. Located on site, we have a team of probation officers, a team of clinicians that work for Optum under the Health and Human Services Agency, who are licensed mental health clinicians. We have a nurse case manager, and then we have the treatment partners located with us, the Lighthouse.
Our role here at the CTC is basically anything to do with behavioral health. We look at the offenders coming in, we do a comprehensive assessment of their mental health needs, behavioral health needs, and we make sure that they get linked to services, or at least get offered services that could support their recovery.
It gave me an opportunity to get my life together and to put a plan together for a successful re-entry into society.
The goal really is to get people ready for treatment, to start thinking about their lives, with the CBT curriculum in particular, to get them to start thinking about their thinking and hopefully change the thinking, then change the behavior.
The resources they provided, the care and the concern for us, like we weren't just crooks. We could be rehabilitated and we could be back into society and we can be walking shoulder and shoulder with each other to make our community a better place.
The Lighthouse and the CTC together as collaborative partners has created a lot of magic with very difficult clients in providing services for them. And I think that it's a collaboration with all the different disciplines, and having a common goal at the end of the day is that we're changing lives.
When I walked in, if I would have known today that I was going to be the woman that I am, I would have never believed it. My life today so far exceeds anything that I ever believed I was worthy of or capable of having after I had spiraled so far down. So today, it's about how I can give back and who I can reach today, how I can contribute to life today rather than just, have taken from it for so long.
Kids are getting in the zone, the safe zone. Maybe it's easier just to watch than to explain. Let's go over to Spring Valley.
The SD stands for Safe Destination, and what it is, it's a program designed for kids to give them a place to play after those critical hours. So when center usually closes at 7 o'clock, we open those up for 2 more extra hours so the kids can stick around, have some fun, play games, interact with staff, also get enrichment classes through our partnership with HHSA, and also learn a little bit about probation and the Sheriff's Department as well.
This is huge because it's at the community neighborhood level. So it brings youth from the neighborhood to hear from their leaders within the neighborhood. And so as we know, place is so important. Our neighborhoods, our zip codes where we grow up are the #1 predictor of our health outcomes. And so it allows them to be civically engaged in their own community and create community change.
What we've been seeing more and more is children tend to get in trouble on Friday night sometimes. So any community that has a place where they can go to feel safe and stay out of trouble is a place that we just really want to promote, and we just love being a part of this program.
As a parent, I say it's very important to have places like this where I know that my kid is safe and is well taken care of, and their staff's always being there and keeping an eye on my kid, which I really appreciate that a lot.
This is an area that is close to areas that are frequented by gangs. So putting them in a safe place like this is huge for kids.
It's vital to have like these type of centers around neighborhoods like this. Brings the community together, really just hanging around all the kids and getting to really mentor and help out.
The best thing about it is all free. I mean, all you have to do is just get signed up, have your kids come on down, and then we've got wonderful staff that's going to take care of them and be able to take them out and have them explore more of the world and then get involved in some other activities that they wouldn't be doing normally in summertime. That's our biggest thing that we try to do, is teach these kids so they'll be a positive influence and also a positive person inside the community once they get out of our center.
To find out more about SD Nights, you can visit sdparks.org. Now, recently, thousands of San Diegans laced up for the 5th annual Live Well 5K. The downtown event brought together friends, families, and even coworkers to promote healthy living. Take a look.
Awesome day because we have awesome people, San Diegans and all our partners coming out, celebrating wellness, being healthy, being safe and thriving, and doing it all together in advancing wellness for all here in San Diego.
Every member of your family, no matter their age, can be active. Head on over to livewellsd.org for news, tips, and other info to motivate you to get off that couch and get healthy. Well, that's it for us. To see more stories like the ones you saw here today, visit countynewscenter.com. We'll see you next time on County Connection. Don't forget to follow us on social media for your County Connection.